Hello, my ladies and pretty gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Look What's Happening in the Spirit Realm with yours truly, Light. Today, I have another very intense message. I'm sorry that this is coming back to back, but a lot of these cycles are being disclosed. What I'm picking up on today is of an energy of a relative, a sibling. I'm getting strongly a sibling, but this is someone who has been a part of a specific ritual, one that you would consider suppression, but it wasn't really intended to be a ritual to begin with. Stay with me. This is one of those messages where you're going to have to sit down and really see if this is even for you, right? But what I'm picking up on is someone who's constantly showing up in my visions as an interrupter. They're constantly showing up to overwater some of the plants, the seeds that you're growing, that wants to disturb your sanctuary, and that wants to interrupt in certain rituals that are supposed to tame or capture some kind of spirit. And this is what I'm getting from these downloads, right? From these visions or sights. This is someone, for a lot of you, who could be as a sibling or a relative again. This person has been groomed in some kind of way, and whether they're seeing it properly or not, they have been groomed and prepared to sort of be your recipient and enemy at the same time. And this is how it's being shown to me. Whoever this is, they could have done something to you when you were younger. They could have led you into some kind of abuse, or they could have led you into some kind of sabotage. But the secret goes so deep, because for a lot of you, this is someone that is now being faced with angels, specifically warring archangels. That's what I picked up on. This is someone who their path, his or her path, is being blocked completely, and they're having to face this, because the way that I'm shown, if this took place in a family situation, this was premeditated. This is someone who is very, very mentally not well. They premeditated something, and they did something, led you into some kind of problem, trouble, where you could have experienced a trauma that you may not even remember. A trauma where they intended for something bad to happen to you. This is someone who wanted to remove you from the family. I don't know how to explain it better, but they wanted you to be removed from the family. And I asked Spirit, what is this energy? Why are they this way? And the message that I got was they were set up, almost groomed to hate you. This is someone who would get abused, or who would get traumatized or targeted if they didn't constantly target you. And I mentioned something briefly in the beginning, suppression ritual. This sibling was set up by a counselor, either a family member, the head of the family, or someone that consults the family. This was all in an attempt to get you in a particular situation. Someone in your family, whether it is someone like a relative who received a vision, or you've heard of if you're a gifted child, people get visions, they get premonitions, they get preparation premonitions, where God is pretty much letting them know that this is a child that is going to accept a gift, that is going to serve the generation, that is going to break certain demonic strongholds. And this is exactly why this person, this sibling, relative, constantly appears in my vision as an interrupter, someone that tries to defile or screw with the work that you're doing energetically and spiritually, sometimes even literally. The way that this went down, right? And this is a family secret. The way that this went down is this consultant, or a maternal figure or a paternal figure, wanted to pretty much have an excuse to put this suppression on your gifts. And they couldn't quite target you directly, right? Because if a parent attacks a child, the balance is too skewed, right? People are going to see it as abuse. But if it's sibling against sibling, friend against friend, relative against relative, cousin against cousin, that can be in a gray zone, right? That can be excused as we're going to protect them both from what happened. But this child, if this is your sibling, This should have been reprimanded. This child should have been reprimanded and held accountable. I do not care how old they were, because the energy I picked up on was very vile. They did something very vile, and they were set up to do it. This is what I'm getting into. They were set up to do it through some kind of suppression ritual that took place when you were very, very young. And it was supposed to suppress or null some of the sharp edges of your gifts that were already showing when you were very young, like 5, 6, 7, very, very young. And this sibling was almost enmeshed with you. They were energetically sewn into you, and they had to be somebody that is either very closely related to you in age, or that is the same gender, something like that. They have to be somewhat in a parallel with you in order to receive this energy. The way that this ritual was orchestrated was to keep you guys close. There is this energy in this family where you and this person, even if it's a cousin, are constantly being brought together, where you are being stuck together on purpose. Like there is a push for you to get along, for you to be in connection with each other, for you to build a connection with each other. And I'm going to tell you this. If you feel anxiety around this person, if you feel unease and you don't quite know what it is, you think you're unreasonable, you think you're making things up, you think that maybe you're being oversensitive, all of this stuff, I need you to listen to your intuition, because you have to stay away from this person. That is the only way you're going to find out this stuff that has happened. And for those of you who have exiled yourself and removed yourself from this dynamic, there is a lot of arguments and a lot of chaos taking place in the family, because they believe they don't know exactly what you know, but they think that you know, because it wasn't just the sibling and the parent or the instructor that orchestrated this situation that understand. It is largely a lot of the people in your family that probably know this secret. They know that something happened to you, and it was done by your sibling. Again, the reason why the parent themselves did not attack you, and the reason why the attack had to even happen, is in order to excuse the further suppression of your gift, to block out the bad memory, to make sure that you don't suffer from the bad memory. But deep down, this figure, this parental caretaker, was very much happy and proud of the little child that took the fall, that took the bait, the karmic debt to harm you in the way that they did. This is what I'm picking up on. Whoever this child is, they're now grown into an adult. They're now grown into an adult, and they have perhaps even a hard time acknowledging any wrongdoing, because they were forgiven for something that they should have been punished for something that they should have been held accountable for and treated in a psychiatric ward for. I'm just going to say it point blank, period, because this is a very sick thing, and I'm not going to even bring it up here because it's not appropriate. It's very sick. They needed to have been treated the way that they did, but instead, the family put dirt on top of it, and they moved on. They pretended like nothing happened, and they continued to do these healing rituals, these suppression rituals, to make sure that the child that they targeted, you, dear lover, was never going to wake up to this, that they were never going to face it and be in pain by it. I'm going to go deeper here. For you, this betrayal could have pretty much shaped you all the way into your adulthood. It could have left you with a sense of isolation from the family, made you feel like maybe you don't belong here, that you don't quite know what it is, but you just can't make up some things, you just can't feel some things, right? You may have a hard time engaging with your emotions or feeling them. You have an easy time putting them to the side. You may feel like you don't quite miss people, or that you have a hard time forming attachments with people. I'm just mentioning some of the things that this energy, this child that was targeted in this way, could have faced growing up. This jealous sibling, they were set up to be jealous because they were supposed to be the beneficiary, the inheritor of some of the gifts that were being suppressed from you as a child through these rituals. For a lot of you, these are spiritual people that you were raised with that did these things under the guise of religious practices, under the guise of healing, whatever the case might be. They were supposed to be the beneficiary. They were supposed to be the one who is imbued by the excess. But this created a dissonance with their soul. This created an unrest because the stuff that they were being given was stuff that wasn't theirs originally. It wasn't in their source code. It wasn't in their destiny. So they couldn't actually hold it. What happened instead, it became an identity issue for them. It became a constant competition, a constant rivalry, and deep down seated envy that led them eventually, and as these people wanted to happen, that led them to consistently hurting you, to consistently leading you, right? And you could have trusted this person for a very long time. They may have consistently led you into trouble. They would push you into trouble, throw stones and hide their hands, and go running back to the caretaker or the parental figure to out you, right? And when something that they did came to light, right, when everybody could see the fact that what they did was very, very foul, they pretended to play the victim. They cried, they act confused, they act like, oh my God, like I didn't know this was going to happen. But deep down, this is the kind of person I'm picking up on. They're seething. That is what it is. And it cannot be natural. It's a demonic possession that took place because their aura was open to receive a source code that was not theirs originally. So they ended up having attachments, demonic attachments, that shouldn't be existing in a young child. And eventually, it became into a narcissistic trait. It became into a disorder. It became a part of their personality that they now shield. They shield tooth and nail. They have a very hard issue making friends, keeping friends. And it's not even that. They have a hard issue taking any form of accountability. And they have a very sick desire to feast on their friends and their loved ones' pain and anguish. This is someone that is being held at a pause. Whoever this is, if this is a cousin, a sibling, a brother, it doesn't matter. It was someone that has been very attached to you from the beginning. And they were cultivated to be attached to you. They're going through a pause. What is happening now is all the stuff, all the suppression that has taken place is all coming back, rushing into you. You're going to be getting a heightened sense of understanding. Certain things that could have been left in the fog, you're going to start seeing them. Your visions are going to be clearer. You're going to just feel a lot of the stuff that cannot be explained as I'm talking to you, that has been suppressed, come to light. And with that is going to be the details, the stuff that happened that they buried, that you have had to live with all your life, that was even making you an exile, even with the people, the family that you connected to in your community. It was making you feel an exile even to them. This is the stuff that's coming out. And for a lot of you, if you have had already a whole separation taking place, the people left behind, they're wondering if you know. They honestly don't know. They're trying to make it up. They're trying to think, what if they find out? And this could be a part of the reason why you could feel certain attacks coming your way. Because everybody has something to gain with you not quite waking up to the full truth of who you are and how who you are was met in the close corridors of your family and your relatives. The way that spirit put this to me, I'm going to cut this video short, but this is what I got. This sibling, they act like they have missed their good chance to sabotage you. That was the first download that came through. And this is why I keep seeing them intervening in rituals. I keep seeing them trying to desecrate garden and a land and a inheritance that is already given to you already. Like it's already been bestowed. It's already being planted and nurtured and cultivated. Like a lot of you are going to have already started reaping the benefits of your inheritance, spiritually speaking. And this person keeps coming in, trying to plant lies, deception, and trying to desecrate and pause certain things because they truly believe in their heart, because they were screwed with spiritually, they truly believe that what is yours is theirs. They believe that. They can't quite understand why they hate you. They don't understand why they want to see you suffer. Like, there is a demonic possession going on with this person and the people that took part in this. I'm going to leave you with this. The figure in the family that was busy attacking your gifts, they were trying to cover for the crime of the child that harmed you, their very child or a cousin. That was the excuse. See, this is the umbrella that you were raised under. That sickness that is so deep that quite literally premeditates how to set up a situation where everybody can have a blind eye when rituals are being done to you to suppress your gifts on purpose. Because everybody will agree, well, at least the lovers, dear lovers, they won't feel the pain that was done to them, even though they were the orchestrators of the pain by pulling the strings of this vulnerable child, albeit a child that needs to be reprimanded, should have been, because I'm talking in past tense right now, they should have been reprimanded. But they were pulling their strings and constantly belittling them. When you weren't around, this sibling, this cousin, this relative that you had to grow up with next to, mind you, could have even been a neighbor, was constantly pitted against you. And this was done on purpose to create an issue. And once the issue was created, what is it saying? First they create the problem and then they give you the solution. But the solution was the reason the problem even existed. That is what I'm picking up on. These people are actually criminals. I don't care if it's taking place within a family, you are criminals. And this is the time that the truth is coming full force, full blast, because you are literally going to be bestowed upon with everything that has been taken from you. I just hope you know that. I hope you know that. 3 things I'm going to leave you behind. Number 1, the family figure, or the person that was paid, the person that was the mastermind, right? The one who instigated this. They're the ones who have a great understanding. At least they've been taught. They don't have it themselves. They've been taught of what it means to have a chosen one or a gifted one or an inheritor of ancestral gifts to live among them. They know the signs to look out for, and they know the way that could suppress the gifts. And a lot of the times it involves attacks. Very young, it involves physical attacks, right? Emotional and sexual attacks. Number 1, they taught them, you have to awaken the jealousy through the ritual of suppression. The jealousy of the unmoored one, or the one that's supposed to be the inheritor, the absorber of the leftover gift. Number 2, once the sibling or the relative acts out the wishes of the family, the wishes of the ritual, which is to harm the child, right? Because it's better to have little kids fighting amongst each other than it is to have an adult actually attacking a child. That's their ideology. Number 3, you, quote, heal the targeted child by binding their sight and gift so they don't wake up to the abuse, and simultaneously, 2 birds with 1 stone, their gift. The fact that they're chosen, the fact that they come bearing insight. What I'm picking up on lately is a very demonic family. I've written about this in my blog. I'm going to write more, but I'm going to leave you with this. I have to go. The entire stuff that you need to be aware of, the blogs, are going to be in the description box down below. The Seers Journal, I highly recommend, even though it's not quite fully complete because I'm still working on a 3rd one. Recommend checking out the Demonic Heritage. It's going to be the 2nd one to the last. And yeah, check out that one. But outside of that, I don't reach out. Those are scammers. Everything you need to know is in the description box down below. My book, Sad Girl. Very related, but unrelated at the same time. You want to check it out. If you want to, it's in the description box down below. I'm sure a lot of you have already purchased it, and I'm really grateful for that. Please do leave a review on Amazon for those that don't know what it is about. It helps to have 3rd eyes on what that is even about. Anyway, until next time, I'm really tired of hearing my voice. Bye.